John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and this one's going to be a fun one for me, and hopefully an educational and inspiring one for you as well. So as you guys saw, the title of this video is Why You Shouldn't Buy an Omega 8006 Juicer. Now in this episode, what I'm going to share with you guys are my personal opinions about the 8006 juicer that actually gets very high reviews if you search the internet. You know, one of the things that bothers me is that many of the reviews that may be reading are from people that don't have experience with other different juicers. You know, I have a collection of juicers, over 20 different juicers, and I have, you know, a specific juicer for a specific task. And the model over here, the NC800, is my personal favorite for horizontal auger juicers. It is actually also made by Omega. Now, why would I have such strong words about the Omega 6 that you actually shouldn't buy it? Well, here's the reason, right? I have many, and I'll try to sum up, but the main one is this machine was originally introduced in 2008, right? 2008, that's probably like almost 10 years ago now. That's insane, right? Think about back to 2008, right? You might have thought you were really cool when you got the original iPhone 3. You're like, man, I'm cool, I got the iPhone 3. But since then, they're up to the iPhone 7 now, right? And maybe the 8's coming out really soon. And so it's just outdated technology. Now, here's the thing. Juicers don't get outdated as quickly as iPhones, right? That's a very important point. So, I mean, that being said, the 8006 is a good, solid performer. Works great. But since then, Omega has come out with newer machines, such as the Omega NC800, which raises the bar up to the next level. That's just even better than the 8006. So to sum this up, for those of you guys that don't want to watch this entire video, because I know a lot of you guys don't like my long videos because I get really in-depth and in detail, because I want you guys to know the whole story. The first reason is, in general, I find that the NC800 is more durable. It has less challenges with screen breakage than the original 8006, okay? And likewise, same goes with the 8004 model, 8003 and 8005. They're basically all the same, have the same screen, and as you'll see in a little bit, there's an upgraded screen in the NC800 that makes it even stronger. Okay? Reason number two, you should not buy an 8006, but get an NC800, is because you're going to get higher yields. So unlike the 8006, it does not have an adjustable end cap, whereas the NC800 does. This has basically 5 positions on it, so you can keep maximum tension on the pulp before it comes out. So this is going to increase your yields maybe 10, 15%. It depends specifically what you're juicing. And on some things, you might not get any actually yield increase, all right? Next reason why I like the NC800 over the Omega 8006 is because it has a larger feed chute. This is huge. As you'll find out a little bit later in this episode, where I actually do a juicing comparison and time it, you'll see that it's going to save me some significant time juicing in the NC800 that has a more of a stadium style feed chute than just the standard round feed chute. So if I just put these up to each other, I mean, it's like 80% larger, 82% larger, I believe. So that just makes using the juicer a lot easier, and it goes a lot quicker. The next reason why I like the NC800 over the 8006 is because the NC800 is BPA free according to Omega, whereas the 8006 is made with the polycarbonate that does have the BPA. Now, I personally believe that this is probably not a huge major concern because the contact time with the plastic is so short, so things aren't going to be leaching out in 5 seconds from the time you put something in, it gets crushed and it comes out. But I know there's those of you guys that are concerned about the BPA, so for that reason, you want to go with the NC800. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, John, with all those cons, right, with the 8006, why would anybody not want to get the NC800? Well, your guess is as good as mine. People read the reviews online and they get sucked into buying an 8006. I still sell plenty of 8006s, but I really want to encourage you guys to actually get the NC800. You're going to be happier overall, because it works the same. It's just a lot easier because of the wider feed chute. There's more durability on especially the screen part specifically, and it gets a higher yield, right? About the only negative with the NC800 is that it's about $30 more than the 8006, which I don't think is a major deal. It's not much more for getting for time savings and higher yields in the end. The next thing I'd like to say is actually, if you guys enjoy my videos, my format, my educational videos that I make for you guys on YouTube here, I would encourage you guys to support me and my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. When you make your purchase at discountjuicers.com, that directly allows me to pay my bills so I can continue to make these educational videos for you guys so that I don't have to get a real job and work for the man or something like that. So I want to thank you guys in advance for those of you guys that have supported me in the past, and thank you guys in advance for those of you guys that will support me in the future. This is basically how I make my living, is by selling juicers, and your support goes a long way. And if my videos have helped you all at least a little bit, hopefully you'd want to be able to help me out as well. And I want to let you guys know too that we have a price match policy at discountjuicers.com. If you find a price lower than what we're selling it for, we will match the price, provided it's an authorized retailer. I do have a video on the reasons why you should purchase from Discount Juicers, but one of the main reasons is for warranty support. If you do a search or look at reviews on Omega Juicers, sometimes customers haven't had the best experiences with the company getting warranty support, right? That being said, all I could tell you guys is that every single customer of Discount Juicers that have gone to Omega for customer support and for warranty repair, whatever, have gotten support and things have gotten taken care of. Now, sometimes it takes my intervention. If the customer's not having direct response and Omega's not helping out directly, all you got to do if you purchase your juicer at Discount Juicers, email me personally, let me know. I have special connections at all the different major manufacturers that I represent, and the manufacturers definitely want to take care of my customers because they know I do a lot of educational videos online, and I basically tell it like it is. I'm not pulling any stops. I'm telling you guys the truth about both these machines so that you guys can make an informed decision. Many companies will not do this, and many companies just want to try to sell you stuff without even telling you, the pros and cons of each one. So that's why I'm here, that's why I'm doing this, and hopefully you guys will support me. In any case, without further ado, let's go ahead and compare these juicers side by side, especially all the different juicing parts, and what makes this actually, both these machines, similar and also a little bit different. Alright, so starting off with the pusher, number one, the pusher on the 8006 actually a lot longer, sticks out. It doesn't actually match. The color is white instead of like the black or chrome, and then and it's actually chrome plated plastic. Let you guys know. And this is actually black plastic, so I like this a bit more. As you guys see, also the size is a little bit larger, 82% larger on the NC800. Next, let's go ahead and show you guys the funnel piece. The funnel piece is actually removable on the 8006, and that's what it looks like. NC800 is not removable, so the funnel looks like this. It's a lot larger on the NC800 than it is on the 8006. Also, the feed chute size, that's a critical point, right? Why not have a 28 or 82% larger feed chute? That makes feeding produce significantly easier and is going to save you guys a good percentage of time. Alright, so the next part that's significantly different on both these guys are the drum cap. So this drum cap is basically non-adjustable. You basically just put it on and that's what you get, right? On this drum cap, we could go ahead and remove this drum cap here. And if we remove that, it's actually two pieces. So you have a drum cap, kind of like on the 8006, but then you also have this little adjusting knob, and it has numbers from 0 to 5. And this goes on the end piece of this, and as you guys can see the differences, this actually has some threads on there. This guy actually goes on there, and now you could crank this to like 0 to put very little back pressure on the pulp coming out, so this would be useful for, say, fruits. And if you're juicing something like carrots or wheatgrass, you're going to want to crank it all the way up to 5 to put the most back pressure, before the pulp comes out. The 8006 actually just does not have this feature, and this is one of the reasons why you'll get, 10, maybe 15% higher yields on the NC800. Of course, that depends on specifically what you're juicing. Next, let's take a look at the juicing screen. Very important topic, very important point. This is the heart of the juicer. So on both these screens, you guys can see they look pretty similar. Both these screens have a stage 1, so as the produce goes into the machine, the auger is spinning, it does an initial crush. On that initial crush, juice comes out, and it actually goes through stage number 1 screen, which is right here. The two stage number 1 screens look pretty much similar on both these units. And then if we go down the way, Then we see the stage number 2 screen, and that's this the stainless steel screen right here. And if we compare these parts, basically it looks like to me that the NC800 has more screen area. This means that there's more opportunity for the juicy pulp, for the juice to get expelled from the juicy pulp. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why you're going to get higher yields. Now it might take you a few extra 30 seconds to clean over the 8006 because there's less screen holes, and less screen holes means less cleaning time. But you know, I would gladly, you know, give up another 15-30 seconds of cleaning the screen for a higher yield. The other thing I want to let you guys know of is that if you look on the 8006 screen, it's basically just kind of a conical shape, right? And so it's round, and it's fairly durable, but you know, it has been known to break, and this is covered under the 15-year warranty, which actually comes standard on the 8006 as well as the NC800. This is the longest warranty in the juicing industry. But if we take a look at the NC800 screen, because this is the next generation after that one, it's like Star Trek The Next Generation. Were they better than the original Star Trek? Well, people might argue with that one. But anyways, on this unit, they have made it better, and how they've made it better is they put this actually ring here. So it's basically a strengthening ring all the way around, so that actually makes the screen a little bit stronger. Also on the bottom here, they have these two molded in lines, which actually this unit simply does not have. And so that makes the screen a bit stronger also. Also, if we look at the ends here, it looks like the thickness and the diameter thickness of the screen on the NC800 compared to the 8006 is just a little bit more fatter. So that's going to be a little bit more strength in there too. But yeah, other than that, these screens are pretty similar. Oh, I want to show you guys this too. Also, the end cap here, they have like a silicone flap. The silicone flap is the first part that keeps some back pressure on the produce aside from the end cap. And actually, if you guys look at these two flaps here, this flap looks basically like a single flap, and this is kind of like a double or a improved style flap. So you know, they have improved the flap. Probably going to also maybe get you more yield. Next, let's take a look at the augers. That's what drives these two machines here. And if we take a look at the augers just side by side, I mean, these augers look pretty identical to me, right? They look pretty identical. I don't know if they're exactly the same or not, but basically the augers are the same. So, you know, the machines are going to work identical, except for maybe the juicing screen's a little bit different and the feed chute, you know, a little bit more convenient on this guy. So let's go ahead and take the drum or the body out, and this is how they look. I mean, basically these guys are pretty similar. If we could compare them up, they're pretty much the same there. And if we compare these, you know, back to front, looks like the NC800 one is a little bit longer. But yeah, for all practical purposes, they're the same. Once again, the 8006 is polycarbonate, does contain the BPA, and the NC800 is the BPA free model. Last thing I want to mention is that the feed chutes are, of course, you know, smaller, larger. Also, the funnel larger on the NC800, which is going to make feeding something like cherry tomatoes a lot easier. Last thing that's different about these two machines are the motor base. So the motor base on both these guys are pretty heavy. I think, you know, roughly they're about the same wattage or same power. 150 watts. They have the same amount of torque. I think it's like 2 horsepower. You know, once they start juicing, and due to gear reduction. So the motors are the same, the housing is different. So if you need a more compact housing, the 8006 might be a better way to go. The NC800 is a bit larger. I kind of like the design of the NC800. It looks a little bit more stylish than the classic design of the 8006. That being said, if you do need a smaller housing, instead of 8006, you might want to go with the 8008 model, which is actually the improved version of the 8006 with compact housing. And then if you even need it smaller, you might want to go with the Omega CNC 80, which is the compact version, which is even smaller, and they make the auger smaller. So yeah, be sure to check my other videos on those topics as well to see direct comparisons. Anyways, let's go ahead and reassemble these guys. Super simple, super easy. You're going to put the body on, slide this little latch to close, put the auger in, put the screen in. This first screen always goes down, goes right in. Put the drum cap on, and it's locked into place. And same thing with the Omega 8006. Put that on, put the auger in place, put the juicing screen on, and put the drum cap. Super simple, super easy. These machines are super simple to assemble. It might take you a little bit to get the hang of it, but once you got it, you got it. And the other thing I really like about both these machines is that they take me under 2 minutes to clean. These are absolutely the easiest juicers to clean in the entire world that I've ever found. Alright, so with that, once you guys saw the differences, let's see the yield differences. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back at you, and we're going to juice some leafy greens and some celery to make a nice green juice, which is what these machines do the best. So now we got the produce we're going to be juicing. We got 2 stalks of celery. They're going to help push things in a little bit. And then we got 3 heads of romaine lettuce. Let's go ahead and show you guys the weights on the scales to make sure we got a fair fight. Alright, so there's all the produce. Let's go ahead and check the weights on the scales. Looks like over on the 8006 side we got 581 grams. Over on the NC800 side, once again 581 grams. Looks like it's even Steven, so we will have an even fight. So now that we have a fair fight, let's get ready to juice. Alright, so we're going to move these scales out of the way and get the produce ready to go. And what I thought I'd do for you guys today is actually get out a stopwatch, because I want to really show you guys the time difference it takes. And this is primarily due to the feed chute size. Significantly easier to juice in the NC800. We'll only know by seeing how long it actually takes and how much time I'll actually be saving with the larger feed chute. Because to me, I think it's fairly significant, but I don't really know. So actually, let's go ahead and we're going to hit the start on this, and we're going to just go ahead and get juicing in the NC800. What I think I'm going to do for you guys is actually just to play this in fast forward. So as I'm juicing, you'll just see me going through the motions and juicing, and then we'll just come back at you at the end to show you guys actually how long it took to save you guys some time. All right, ready, set, go! Alright, so I'm just about done juicing, and the NC800 went fairly smoothly. I really like this larger feed chute. I mean, this is the only horizontal auger I really like to use in this day and age. Let's see, last thing we got going in is the celery, very important. You never want to stop on leafy greens because you really need something hard and fibrous to kind of push through. Whether that's something like celery, or whether that's something like carrots, or, you know, beets or radishes, something hard. Always best to go through last. And even after you got that last piece of produce item in, you want to let the juicer run a little bit longer for it to process out totally. How you'll know it's done is if the pulp stops flowing out of the front of the unit, which it actually has, and the juice stops dripping off the bottom, and you don't hear any kind of grinding noises from within the juicer. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this off. Looks like it took me about a total of 3 minutes and 45 seconds to juice in the NC800. Next, let's go ahead and see how long it takes to juice in the Omega 8006. Alright, now we're ready to juice in the 8006. Let's go ahead and hit the start right here, and let's get juicing. Alright, so it looks like we're just about done juicing in the 8006. Got that last piece of celery. You know, I mean, this did work fairly easy. Basically, because of the smaller feed chute, I could only put like 1, maybe 2 leaves in at a time. It was a lot easier to feed it into the larger feed chute of the NC800. Although on the NC800, it looks like we had maybe a lot more stuff spinning around the top, whereas in the 8006, looks like it might have went in a little bit better. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it. The pulp stopped flowing out the front. Let's go ahead and turn off the 8006 and check our time here. So it looks like it took us a total of 4 minutes. So yeah, not much longer, but it did take a little bit longer to juice in the 8006. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at the yields. But before we take a look at the yields, I always like to tip the juicer upright, get the final drips out, you know, both up and back. Move that front and center for you guys. And once again, 8006, tip it up, tip it back, and move this guy out front and center. And let's go ahead and compare the yields. Alright, let's go ahead and give you guys a close-up on the yields here. Over on the 8006 side, looks like we got basically right a little bit above 12 ounces of juice. And then panning over to the NC800. Looks like we got a little bit more than 12 ounces of juice. So I mean, this was a really good fight, really close. I mean, the 8006 was admirable, but the NC800 made a little bit more, yeah, maybe about 10%. So as you guys just saw, the Omega NC800 actually made more juice, and it's roughly around 10% more juice. It wasn't astronomical amounts, so if you already have an 8006, hey, no reason to get an NC800, but if you don't have one and are buying one, hey, why not get more yield, and why not save some time with a larger feed sheet? Last thing I like to do is actually just take some of this pulp, and I like to take some of the pulp in my hand and squeeze it out. And you know, I could squeeze a fair bit of juice out of this. Now, what I want to let you guys know is that on either of these two machines, after the pulp comes out the first time, you could actually just dunk it back through the machine for a second time, and actually it will press out more juice. Now, the thing to remember is that if you juice the pulp for the second time, it's going to put more pulp in the juice, so be aware of that. Let's see, let's go ahead and take the 8006 pulp. Once again, whoa, 8006 pulp, man, it seemed a little bit more wet. Pulp, the juice was spraying out of it, but nonetheless, putting it back through the second time could help a lot. And also, when you put it back through the second time, hey, juice it and alternate with feeding in some carrot or another root vegetable or even some celery. That'll help extract more yield than just pressing out the pulp alone. So yeah, that pretty much sums up this episode. You know, I would encourage you guys, don't buy that Omega 8006, but get the Omega NC800 instead. It's just a little bit more money, offers, you know, time savings, more yield, and more importantly, more durability for you guys, so you guys could be successful in juicing for the long run, because juicing can and will change your life, provided you do it each and every day. You know, what I recommend for you guys is actually just stop eating breakfast, right? Instead, have as much fresh vegetable juice as you'd like, and hey, add some fruits in there so it's sweet enough for you guys to drink. And that alone, by just doing that for 30 days straight, you'll start feeling different. You'll start losing weight. You'll start having more clarity, you know, in the morning, in the afternoon, right before you eat lunch, right? Juicing really works, and it's not because of the magic of juicers. These juice machines aren't magic or anything like that. But what they allow you to do is they allow you to concentrate, especially the vegetables and leafy greens in your diet, the foods that you're probably not eating, right? And when we're eating a proper diet with proper plant-based foods, including fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, leafy greens, and herbs, which actually this is one of the best juicers for juicing any kind of herbs, if you know what I mean, you know, we're going to be healthier because of it. So I guess in the end, I would encourage you guys to support me in my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. If you liked this video, also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes that are coming out about every 5 to 7 days. Also be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes on this YouTube channel dedicated to teaching you guys all about the different juicers, comparing them side by side so that you guys could learn and be an empowered consumer and find out the right juicer for you. Because, you know, many people might like the horizontal style augers. Actually, I prefer the vertical style augers. The Omega VSJ843 is my favorite vertical auger juicer at this time. So also be sure to share this video with somebody else that's considering buying an Omega 8006. Maybe they'll think a little bit differently. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors. This is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and this one's going to be a fun one for me, and hopefully an educational and inspiring one for you as well. So as you guys saw, the title of this video is Why You Shouldn't Buy an Omega 8006 Juicer. Now in this episode, what I'm going to share with you guys are my personal opinions about the 8006 juicer that actually gets very high reviews if you search the internet. You know, one of the things that bothers me is that many of the reviews that may be reading are from people that don't have experience with other different juicers. You know, I have a collection of juicers, over 20 different juicers, and I have, you know, a specific juicer for a specific task. And the model over here, the NC800, is my personal favorite for horizontal auger juicers. It is actually also made by Omega. Now, why would I have such strong words about the Omega 6 that you actually shouldn't buy it? Well, here's the reason, right? I have many, and I'll try to sum up, but the main one is this machine was originally introduced in 2008, right? 2008, that's like probably like almost 10 years ago now. That's insane, right? Think about back to 2008, right? You might have thought you were really cool when you got the original iPhone 3. You're like, man, I'm cool, I got the iPhone 3. But since then, they're up to the iPhone 7 now, right? And maybe the 8's coming out really soon. And so it's just outdated technology. Now, here's the thing. Juicers don't get outdated as quickly as iPhones, right? That's a very important point. So, I mean, that being said, the 8006 is a good, solid performer. Works great. But since then, Omega has come out with newer machines, such as the Omega NC800, which raises the bar up to the next level. That's just even better than the 8006. So to sum this up, for those of you guys that don't want to watch this entire video, because I know a lot of you guys don't like my long videos, because I get really in-depth and in detail, because I want you guys to know the whole story. The first reason is, in general, I find that the NC800 is more durable. It has less challenge